It's time for the shop report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. Of course, we want to remind you the Shop Report is brought to you by Rocket Digital Media. It's the one-stop shop for all your digital marketing needs. You can look them up on Facebook at RDM Detroit, 1D, 2E Detroit, or you can slide on over to the website, rocketdigital.net. That's ROCKIT digital.net. Make sure when you're there, while you're there, you tell them the BSJ sent you. And for my folk out there in TV land, if you want to leave your questions or comments during today's program, by all means, please do so. And we will throw it up on the screen. And y'all know what's coming next. If you're one of them folks who wants to leave a question or comment that's indignant or ignorant in nature, it won't be seen on this screen. Matter of fact, here's what you'll get.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That being said, joining me on the program today is none other than my cap from where you at? Where you at now again? From around across the pond. What they call you? Joey James, aka Double Bass. Tell the people what you say. Oh, Ivy with 23, making that 23 look real good. Here, shout out to you. What's happening today?
I definitely want to naturally extend my condolences to the Michigan State community.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And of course, rivalries aside, that's the human part of it. Naturally triumphs over that type of stuff. So definitely, I've extended my condolences to those that I knew personally, some of which that are there on campus. So or close, for example, a board member of mine, her son was there. He's home now, but you learn. Even Tom Izzo's not biological son, but nevertheless, he was there 10 minutes after it happened. So it's interesting, and saddening that we here we are yet again.
Yeah, this day and age, but the frequency in which these types of events are happening are eyebrow raising, to say the least. So we'll get to your comment here in a second. We appreciate y'all weighing in. Me too. I share your sentiment. I think that's like, I don't know how many times has that happened on the MSU campus or Michigan, period, within the last, 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
That's mind-boggling, the number. And I don't know the number, but I know if you go, anybody out there, if you want to look it up, trust and believe, the number of these types of events, again, in Michigan alone, is just mind-boggling.
Yeah, unfortunately, Oxford came to mind. There was somebody that
shout out to Miss Alva weighing in. She says Spartan strong. Go green, go white. Yeah, for sure.
So unfortunately, there were ties to students, believe it or not, from Sandy Hook Elementary that were at Michigan State, and then also those that were at Oxford here, about 40 minutes or so from me, give or take. They also were on campus. So unfortunately, they all had to kind of relive something, yet again. So just disappointing anybody has to go through that.
There's a saying where, I don't know, some folks call it prophecy, others call it revelation, that there will be a time when the killers will not know why they're killing, and those who are being killed will not understand why they're being killed. So that looks like where we at. I'll just say, make sure y'all got your priorities in order. And I'm not judging. I'm talking to me too, because it's going to be a day of rectification. But again, our condolences go out to those who are all involved in this unfortunate situation. And with that, let us start the show. All right. We got one item on the menu for you all right now, and then another one coming up after the Fizz Act. But of course, we will do the gridiron first. And obviously, our Super Bowl 57 recap. Oh, before we get into this, though, there should be a few other people joining us here in a few minutes. You know, it's always like the barbershop. I mean, for real, always some scragglers. You know, that's why we say walk ins are always welcome because you might sometimes need appointment. The Eagles special teams was a wart all season long. But how many people know?
Oh, what? Come on. Oh.
No, you listen. I'll hold it.
Oh, yeah, I knew. Oh. Hang on. I thought that was the Purdue train coming. I'm sorry, it was the excuse train coming.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Man. You didn't let me finish.
I should have known.
Like somebody
else.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The Eagles special teams warts showed themselves all season long, but in particular in the Super Bowl. That's not an excuse because they still had a chance to win the game. I'm just saying. I'm just here to point out that football is all three phases in order to win. I know the quarterbacks get all the glory, the offensive linemen get none, and I know if a guy makes a huge mistake, he's the GOAT in the oxymoronic kind of way, I guess, and you know, for the game and all that good stuff. But the Eagles special teams have been an issue all season long. But a wart, but it was covered up by the fact that everything else surrounding them was just that darn good. And as you can see, go back and look at it. Go look it up. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. Yeah, you don't. I mean, you over there, he ha ha. Okay, whatever it is.
Hang on a second.
Okay, what am I saying?
Congratulations to Patrick Mahomes. You sound worse than AJ Brown right now.
What? Hold it. Now, are you serious?
Did you take over his Twitter a little? You know,
absolutely not. I'm not done. I actually got Mahomes stuff in here. That's just one of the first.
I don't know. I mean, if anybody had an excuse, it would have been the guy, you know, who was on the sideline, you know, tilting his head back like he was going to a dentist, you know, and he needed a root canal.
And who was this, pray tell?
That was Patrick Mahomes, you know, the guy who limped off the field.
Yeah.
And showed nothing short of a triumphant return and glorious, just showed in true NFL film, it would make Steve Sable proud that he could use
shout out to Steve Sable. I know the man.
Licensed music, you know, of the NFL films past in the present.
And who will be doing the voiceover? John Facenda. You don't know John Facenda? You can't mention NFL films, Steve Sable, without mentioning John Facenda. Did you just do that?
Is that the voice? I didn't know who the voice
was.
I didn't.
Oh my. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I thought you were getting ready to take a jab
right here.
All right.
Oh please. Oh, absolutely not. Yeah. So the Eagles special teams did not. They didn't factor in at all. No. What? That wasn't a humongous moment.
I mean, are you serious?
I'm just asking the questions. I just add. Listen,
you asked the Eagles if they think they lost due to special teams.
No, they didn't lose to special teams. I'm just saying special teams had a bonehead moment, brain cramp,
hitting the field goal post.
Oh, well, this is not. We're not talking about Gronk's FanDuel moment. Oh.
Although apparently there was some serious wind according to Gronk. He showed it. I mean, you could hear it. It sounded, you know, actually we've had some high winds. It ripped my the cover I had on out there. I'm very disappointed in that.
Oh my. Oh,
you guys not getting that over there? Did it not blow that way? You might have to catch one, you know, duck one of my chairs.
Not everybody can live when you live. Not everybody can live in a gated community. Okay, first of all, some of us don't know what trees are because we live in areas where there are no trees growing. Okay, I'm just saying. Anywho, Mahomes, Mahomes, that run on one leg basically was validation like no other. That's what sealed the MVP.
Now, I told you right now, you prop guys out there, his rushing prop was 19.5 yards. That was begging you to say, Vegas saying, take my money. Take my money.
I wonder how many people betted that. I mean,
I did. He had 44 yards is what he finished with.
I'm sure you did.
And you know what? I should have changed it if I could. I was too focused trying to get to the over-under on the national anthem. But
oh boy, here we go. Doc weighing in. Shout out to my man Doc.
Oh, wait a minute. What's he got?
Doc say, first off, before we get started, Mahomes ain't gonna ever pass Brady.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm drinking Powerade, but he must have the haterade.
That's what you call it.
He must have the haterade over there. Just like
please.
our host right over here.
Well, how am I hating?
He came on talking about now the Eagles had problems. And we knew they had problems from 16 weeks ago, and they never addressed said problems.
But
Come
the Eagles,
on, are you crazy?
The Eagles special teams
said
failed them.
Didn't
That's
have
all
a
I'm
chance.
asking.
Mahomes is washed. It's Andy Reid, and
who said that?
Made him, and anybody is plug and play.
That. Oh, stop it. Doc is weighing in again. Mahoney, he's he's being.
No, that's a Twitter fingers being fast. He's
yeah, no. He says Mahoney will be a multi-champ QB, but not a 7-time Super Bowl champ. Yeah, I mean,
hang on a second. How old is Patrick Mahomes?
Oh, here we go again. Did he come straight out of high school too?
Nope.
Man, stop it. Okay.
Nope. Matter of fact, all you had to do was look to little Hasbulla.
Dang, Doc, what do you mean Hasbulla? Doc, well, hold on. Doc says here again, he'll be lucky to make it to the 100,000 pass yards and 700 plus touchdown club. 700? What happened? What? 700 touchdowns? Who got to? Oh, I'm at work. Forgive the incorrect spelling. Oh, okay, I got you, Doc. Who got 700 touchdowns? Brady? Okay, cue the Jeopardy music.
He's gonna have
Doc,
to
you got to fill me in. Who got 700?
I gotta Google search that one right now.
Yeah. Oh, please. Yeah, please. Google search that one all day if you want to. Oh, wait. I think Doc weighing it. Man, Doc is on fire today. What is he doing? Okay, hold on here. He said he meant 600. Okay, 600 touchdown club. My bad. Okay, it's all good.
Yeah, Brady's had 649.
Yeah,
649 for Brady.
Okay, who's next behind him? By the way,
Cool Breeze, of course, Purdue at 571, and then of course
he said he had work. He meant 600. Yeah,
his arch nemesis. Yeah, Breeze is at 571.
Then Peyton Manning.
Yep. 538, and then Brett Favre and Sharon Rodgers. But Sharon Rodgers has ways to go. Where's
my man Shimmy Rodgers at?
475.
Okay.
Now I will say this:
if you go to the Raiders, he might get there.
I already threw something at a guy named the Squatch for those that are in the Vegas area. Of course, I proposed to him that should one throw a couple dollars at the odds for the New York Jets to make the Super Bowl because of the outside possibility that said Sharon Rodgers joins the team.
Well, that's but you know what though?
You tell me if you add him to that roster, right? Remember, Breece Hall was on fire before he got hurt.
I know. Well, you saw what they did with Joe Flacco, the Statue of Liberty. Mm-hmm, okay, so yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is he's a heck of a player. I trust Aaron Rodgers all the way up into whatever league, division, or whatever conference championship. That's when I get off.
And now Brady did really sign his paperwork. Now, you know who the biggest loser is by Brady retiring?
Who?
Greg Olsen.
Why?
Friend of mine, Greg Olsen. His salary.
You're talking about the Miami Hurricane, Greg Olsen.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, of course. Yep. Shout out to Gio, baby. We everywhere. Cane Nation, the U. Oh, sorry.
That's right. Well, yeah.
Doc, hold on. Doc said again, my homeboy ain't reaching that. My homeboy
now?
My homeboy will catch Breeze, but not Brady. Doc, would you say something?
Are you crazy?
Double J and Brother Rich come up with these. They have their imagination. I guess they say sometimes your imagination is your only nation. With these two, where in the world do we say anything at all since we've been doing this, Doc, bad about Patrick Mahomes?
You know, Derek Carr's number 38 on this list. That's, as historically bad as his career is, you wouldn't
to be on that list at all.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's highly impressive. The Philly Rush, quote unquote, couldn't seem to get to Patty Mack all night. Why is that?
There was a trade. So this is why I laughed. I laughed off what you had to say about a.
Hold that thought. What, Doc? Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, right. Got you. Not saying anything bad about him, but he ain't catching Brady. Yeah, I don't say that either. But what you said to the U? Get out of here. What'd you say?
Hang on a second. So the way that you came on this show and right away started making excuses, just this glamorous issue that was like bright Times Square lights that everybody knew.
I wanted the Eagles to win. Everybody knew it. I did want the Eagles to win, if that's what you're driving at. I did.
Of course you did.
But that's
I know you did. I don't know why you did, but I know you did.
Okay, but that's separate from. What do you mean? What do you mean? The Eagles had it. What do you mean? It was a great game.
Oh, because they're from the NFC East.
No.
Is that what this is about?
Oh, now I'm an Eagles fan because of the Cowboys. Oh, here we go again with the Cowboys. Yeah. Couldn't wait to get the kettle in right there. Oh boy, yeah, got you. Let me get to another comment here.
All right, boys, we're heading west. We got us a prime spot.
Mahomes is like Big Ben. The way he extends the play with his legs is amazing. Might be a little bit better than Big Ben though. But I get where you're driving at, Doc.
That was not why they won. I told you he had 44 rushing yards, 2 of which came from, or like over half of which came from 1 or 2 plays. So
the Eagles defense didn't show up either. What happened to them?
No, it was, look, this is
the
something
pass rush. That's why I asked. The pass rush couldn't get there.
But look who they've played. I asked the question, were they a victim of circumstance? Because I asked all season,
what elite
quarterbacks? No, I said, what elite quarterbacks had they played against? And the fact of the matter was, there really wasn't anyone that we could hone in on. And certainly in the playoffs, they were against a 4th-string San Francisco quarterback. And then, of course, who did they play prior to? Wasn't any good either.
Yeah, well, it's a gentleman. I thought he was going to come on by now. His name is, we call him Big Hat. Lionel Hatton is his name. We call him Big Hat. I thought he was going to join it because when I went to the barbershop, he said the same thing. He said that, what did he say? He said against the 49ers, the Eagles defense, the Eagles got lucky. That's what he said.
Well, so. and that was just it. So it was very difficult to say for sure. And
Doc said that he said that they won because the Eagles defense ran out of gas trying to keep up with the one-leg Mahomes. Yeah, that's bad for the defense. He said big play Slay was playing like Detroit Slay.
Let's be honest here. The first play that Mahomes tried to run, he got hurt. And it wasn't until the second half that he was, well, kind of took off one or 2 other times. But look, man, you talked about issues. You talked about, well, yeah, that's what I said. He's going to be, he probably could have, did a high jump or some hurdles and been okay.
Or a 10K run.
Right. And so, but nevertheless, there was an issue with that offensive line. And if you remember, they traded for Orlando Brown early.
Who traded for Orlando Brown?
Kansas City did.
Oh, no. But yeah, that was after that debacle in the Super Bowl where, he got sacked 412 times. Yeah, I mean, they did. But at least they understood that they went out, unlike the Browns, they understood what they needed to do. And they went out and bolstered the offensive line. You should hear
the Browns have one of the best offensive lines in the league.
Oh, man, please. Don't make me pull up
their problem.
Don't make me pull up their problem. According to Pro Football Focus, the last part of the year, they were terrible.
Or how much time did said somebody was acting like they were getting a massage in behind that line.
Was that a Deshaun Watson dig? Oh, absolutely. Oh, what? Really? What?
Yeah. Well, no,
Oh my gosh!
I was so for the deal, and again, as many have pointed out, how much was given in return of him. That if this fails,
yeah, because if you see where the Browns sitting at in terms of the draft, it's laughable.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
No, it's not a good look. No, it's not. No, it's not. But I'm here to tell you right now, if you turn on any local sports talk station here, Deshaun Watson is not the issue. Okay. They all say and I don't even really listen to them. I was shocked that they were all on the same page. They said there's something wrong in that building. It is. I'm telling you, the curse of Calavito, and I'm not into all that kind of stuff.
Well, then someone call Peyton Manning, because what he did for the Lions must need to be, he's 1 for 1, and at this point,
his head won't fit in the building, man.
Well, that's what they said about him in Detroit, but he still made it.
Yeah, well, that Ford Field got a dome on it, so it fit him. I'm just saying. When we come back, we're gonna keep the rest of our grid. So you're happy with the outcome? The Chiefs won. Travis Kelce, the beast, and whatnot.
Yeah, anytime touchdown score prop on Travis Kelce, easy money. Yep, I told you.
Yeah, okay.
And then of course, I think it was plus 1,000 on just the Chiefs money line. Like, people, what are you doing? They were giving you the money. You never go with what the public is doing.
Did you do it?
I sure did. Ask Megan. Read a minute. I sent it in the chat. I sent it to
people
who were sending me thousands of dollars. Yeah,
you sure did.
I had a great day. I didn't have to work this week.
I'm amazed at how the people that live in the gated communities all of a sudden just can win the lottery. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, unbelievable. And with that, we're going to take a 40-second commercial break. Don't y'all go nowhere. We'll be right back. When we come back, we're going to keep the gridiron going. We're going to talk about DeMaurice Smith, NFLPA. DeMaurice Smith has no to the – yeah, don't touch that dial.
It's Kate Cunningham, and you're watching The Shop Report.
It's Chris Murray, and you're watching The Shop Report.
Touch that dial. Stay tuned.
Braxton Key, you're dropping in on The Shop Report.
Hi, I'm Mars Man. We're from Mercury Stadium, and you're watching The Shop Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching The Shop Report. Hey, guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching The Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching The Shop Report.
All right, what we have here, bear with me, is, of course, you all know what I do here a time or two or on occasion. I like to read from a particular article. Sometimes I try to jot down certain key notes and key points. Then I find myself writing a book. So I say, you know what, I'll just throw it up in the studio while we live, and I'll just read the article. So if you all could bear with me. The subject, obviously, here you all are seeing NFLPA big man, so to speak. I think double agent is what I'd like to call him. DeMaurice Smith here is supposed to be repping the players, but you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't know who he repping. But anyway, he came out and had some choice words. Are you
suggesting it was him in that balloon?
Yeah, Al, absolutely. Yeah, that's another story for another day. He's suggesting here that the NFL, he's basically saying it's imperative that the NFL do away with the NFL Combine. So if you all could bear with me, I'd like to read a few things, and then I'll get Double J's thoughts. And, of course, Doc, whoever else is out there listening, watching, and whatnot, you all can weigh in as well. All right, Double J, hit me.
You're live.
All right, here we go. All right, NFLPA Executive Director DeMaurice Smith told reporters in a pre-Super Bowl press conference Wednesday that he wants to eliminate the NFL Scouting Combine. All right. So ESPN's Josh Weinfuss relayed these remarks in particular. So we're now in an era where we know exactly how fast these guys can run, how much they can lift, how far they can jump, and do all those things. Why do we insist on them showing up in Indianapolis? It's not for anything physical, right? Double J, do you agree with that? It's not for anything physical? You with him so far?
Well, it's hard to say that it's not for anything physical when they're doing physical things. So I get,
but that could be
I know the difference, because so here's the thing, right? As if our audience was what we would call a Super Bowl crowd, those that are not very in tune with this, you would say, okay, imagine that this is you've already gone through the collegiate stuff, and now you have to try out all over again.
Oh, right. Okay. So whoa. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Well, and by trying out, it is a combination of both physical and mental activities.
Okay, so are you suggesting then that pro days, the emphasis should be more on a player's pro day if you really want to test his ability?
Yes, and the reason why is more so the keyword is opportunity for me. And what I fear with this is that there's players, it's not the first and second round picks that really even need this. It's the people that are beyond that, or that would be, second day, third day, or potentially going undrafted, that can give you somewhat of a second chance. So if we put more emphasis on that particular team's pro day, you are by default given no choice but to watch everyone there. And that's really the idea that I would like to see more of, because again, if you think about it, you have the Senior Bowl, you have their pro days, and then you have this. And as we've seen, like, I'll give the example with the NBA Combine, guys like Ivy and Chet didn't do anything. They just showed up. They were in street clothes. And so there are those select few that have earned it enough that they choose not to participate. But then what we've done is we've created a whole spectacle around this particular event. This thing goes on all day long from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And, every coach, every scout is in, Lucas Oil Stadium, and it's naturally broadcasted on NFL Network. And what you typically hear about is, hey, this guy ran this particular time, or this guy had a really bad day. And so what it allows, again, it allows for people, and I'll point to, there was a Raiders player who just ran a blistering speed and was ultimately drafted very early. His career didn't necessarily pan out, but it can be the difference of you making a lot of money or not on that initial contract. So, but generally speaking, these kids have 4 years plus of tape, at the very least 2, plus a pro day, to be able to determine if they're what you're looking for. Unfortunately, what this can be interpreted as very much like I brought up the cognitive test. I know someone who took it and initially was told.
Oh, don't get in the way, because I think I know where you're going. Even if I don't know, I think I do. Let me get to a few more. Let me get to this comment right quick.
Sure.
And let me get through the article. Hold on. Oh, Doc left a few more comments. Doug on it. He said, laughing, the combine is the reason for the Jamarcus Russells of the world. Doc, you was there. Yeah, and he said too, right quick. Let me go back to that. What did he say about the Eagles? They beat a hurt Purdy and a 4th-string quarterback. Yeah. And this special teams failed them. Let me get to this. Let me get through this right quick, because I think I know where you're going. Anyway, he goes on to say, Mr. Smith, it's not for anything physical, right? It's for the teams to be able to engage in intrusive employment actions that don't exist anywhere else. As soon as you show up, you have to waive all of your medical rights. This is the part I found rather interesting. You have to waive, because I didn't know that or know this. As soon as you show up, you have to waive all of your medical rights, and you not only have to sit there and endure embarrassing questions. I got a few of the questions too, and then some of the ones I just thought were just, excuse my French fries, or asinine. And I think that's horrible, of course, and I don't want to poo-poo any of that, okay? But he asked, would you want your son to spend hours inside of an MRI machine and then be evaluated by 32 separate team doctors who are, by the way, are only doing it for one reason? What's the reason? To decrease your draft value. And then Troy Vincent, he had some, he had a few things to say. He's not for it either, and he likened it to a slave auction. Okay. But here's something that I found interesting. Some of the questions that these guys are asked. I don't know who Dane Brugler is, if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's from Twitter. I guess you can go to verify or fact check, go to Twitter or whatever you do there. He said, the strangest interview question I've heard an a NFL team asks, excuse me, a prospect so far, do you find your mother attractive? What in the what? Then Austin Lane, he said, when a scout asked me at the combine if I had to murder someone, would I use a gun or a knife? Strangest question. I don't know who defensive end Obum Guacham, but he said, when did you lose? What happened? Now, apparently, as we read here, the NFL sent the memo warning teams, but again, did we hear of anybody getting penalized for doing this? And obviously, as you read at the bottom there, it said that the combine is going to still, it's going to still be held this year. And they've invited 319 players. Okay, so what? I'm just, it's the questions. I mean, what are they doing here? But I'll tell you this, though. When I was, and a lot of people don't know this, and a lot of people do, but for those who don't, I don't have a problem sharing. It's not something I'm proud of. But when I was incarcerated, they did the same thing. They had this test. It was probably like 500 questions. And if you didn't have a keen sense of ... you wouldn't notice that the questions were repetitive, but asked in different forms. Question number 1 versus question 31. But one of the questions on there was, did you play pick up the handkerchief with your mother? Go figure. Why are they asking these guys this? Because I'll go back to what I just said. The pro day, because it could prove, let me slow down. The pro day could prove whatever it is that you're looking for when you do this thing at the combine. Because again, and I get it, it can increase or decrease your draft stock, but why should your draft stock weigh so much on whether or not what you can run in the 40? Not saying that how fast you run is not important, but if I really want to know, for a wide receiver, for instance, yes, I want to know that he's fast, but don't you think more important is how well can he catch? What good is it if you can?
They have those drills too.
No. It should be more of that and less of the speed. If I see tape don't lie, right? If I see you on tape, because is it not straight line speed and football speed? Haven't we heard all those two? Oh, okay. If the tape say you got football speed, I don't need to test you in the 40. What we're gonna do is get some extra reps in with them hands. How many guys you done seen in the NFL that had blazing speed and beat triple coverage and then lay the ball down at the 2-yard line?
It's why Ocho Cinco's soccer career didn't really go the way he wanted it.
Okay, I didn't see that coming. All right, I'm just. I didn't see that coming. Wow. Okay. Whoa. Okay. You trying to test BSJ's equilibrium skills? All right. What Chad Ocho? I don't. Chad
Huge
wasn't
soccer
fast.
fan.
Oh well.
No. But he really was. I think he was very passionate. He still is for the sport of soccer, and he's gone to El Clasico, which is Real Madrid versus Barcelona, and he's even participated in their open trainings, trying to make some teams, even here within the United States, and hasn't been able to do so. His feet work struggles a little bit.
Oh, I've seen Chad's footwork. And
now, but on the football field, he wasn't Jerry Rice, but he could cut.
No, and TJ. Yeah, no, he could run routes. He could.
Absolutely.
Him and TJ, who's your mama? No offense to nobody out there, but that's what they call him. Hushmanzada was a bad boy. That was a nice combo the Bengals had with Carson Palmieri, because that's how he played. Like he had palm trees. Him and Brother Rich. Never mind. Let me lay Brother Rich off.
Good dude too. He signed my jersey. I had way too much fun. I was a lot younger then.
Who signed your jersey?
Well, Ocho. I was invited out to Cincinnati by him. He was a great host. Very nice guy. Didn't pay for a thing.
Good to know. Yeah, I'm wondering where you're getting the money from. Anywho, yeah. So at the end of the day, though, I say they should get rid of it for those reasons. It's a meat market.
Well, it is. You're not wrong. And again, what I'm concerned about is those players that are not day one or early, not simply put, not first 2 round, not in the first 2 rounds.
Okay, so wait, hold
I want
thought.
the guy. I want that Brock Purdy, right, Mr. Irrelevant. I want to see.
Don't they get pro days too?
They do, but how many people are going to go to Iowa State's pro day if they think this dude's a 7th round pick, right? A lot of this stuff happens on the same day.
But that's what
so
your
they
scouts are for.
I understand, but now what you're asking is for them, right? Everybody gets the benefit of being able to be in one place at the same time. Now, with the schools, you have to work with the universities now. At their
Doc said, you know how they got off the Mayflower and went to town and never mind.
You're right. But that's
how the combine feels. Yeah, I'm with you, Doc. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry, Double T.
The fact of the matter is there's things like the Wonderlic test. And that test was atrocious. It was very much a personality and cognitive assessment.
But how is the actual combine itself really any different? It's like one is on paper.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. One is on paper and one is in practice. Same principle or premise. And then this is the same NFL now. Remember, we just talked about this maybe a month or 2 ago, that they admitted to race norming when it came to CTE and the whole testing, the cognitive test or whatever the case may be.
So but here's my thing. If I'm going to gripe about it, that's why I'm saying that what I'm looking at is truly the opportunity that's lost. Not so much gain. Do I think they need to do away with certain things? Of course. Again, there needs to be some kind of guarantees for those that are willing to participate. From what I understand, they don't really offer that much to those kids either. We've even heard like guys like Deion Sanders who flat out said like he came and he did this one thing and then he took off. Like he literally left.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there. So I know, and he's not the best example to use because he was in a world of his own, at that point in time. So, but it's the other guys. It's the Mr. Irrelevance that could be. This could be the difference of making it right or not.
I know, but at the end of the day, let's stay with Purdy. I don't recall his pro day. Okay. But for the sake of this discussion, what did he do at his pro day that made Kyle Shanahan say, oh, this is the guy we got to take, even at the Mr. Irrelevant spot?
Well, that's a question that only I think
because if
Kyle
you're doing
Shanahan
it, I'm sorry, not the pro day, I'm sorry, the combine, excuse me. What is he really doing at the combine? He still was Mr. Irrelevant.
Right, but he may have made a throw or two. I'm going to point to the Liberty quarterback from last year that's at Tennessee now. There were a few times that he threw a ball that I watched. Basically there was like a wastebasket, and he sunk it.
Okay.
And he was about 30 yards away or so, and it was just like it's that type of thing that you're like, wow, okay, this guy can do something that you may have not seen when he's being under duress because he has a crappy offensive line. Right. I could make that excuse all day long. Give me Brady's line and I'll win a Super Bowl. Right. How many armchair, quarterbacks say that? Or, give me, these guys as wide receivers and I'll, be all pro.
Okay. So let's stop right there. Let me ask you, I'm gonna get to your comment in a second. Let me ask you this question. If you're a scout, are you placing more emphasis or more weight on a player's pro day or his combine?
I would heavily lean to the combine, without a doubt. I'm
okay. So in other words,
I hate that I have to be the guy that always takes this role. But
yeah. So okay, then let me.
Business guy. That's all. That's how it works.
Okay, in layman's terms, you're going to get your car washed. You going through the car wash that washes 1,000 cars a day, or you going to a hand car wash?
No, hand.
Oh, and by the way,
you're getting a better quality.
Okay, then that's I'm saying that with the pro day. The pro day, you
how?
Get a better quality.
So? I disagree.
Listen, it's 319 players. It's 319 players that's invited to the combine.
About 50 seniors on one roster.
How many scouts?
20.
Sometimes
3.
The scouts make their money. Do you think hang
on a second. Everybody has a soft spot in their heart now for scouts, thanks to Adam Sandler's movie. right? Where he had to travel all around the world, never got to see his family.
Oh,
because
I
guys
never
like
even
you
saw that
said,
movie.
you know what,
Number
it's
one,
nice.
I never
You know,
saw that
we're
movie.
going to bring everybody into this one place.
No,
and we're going to take that away now.
Hey,
so
give
you
me
don't get to see your
Moneyball.
family anymore.
Give me Moneyball. And I know he wasn't a scout, but I'm just saying, I didn't even see Adam Sandler. He's better in Grown Ups than he would have been in that movie.
Well,
I'm
you know
sure.
what, Juan? You know, Hernan Gomez was Bo Cruz in that movie. Good. That he earned fans from that.
Thank you, Doc. I'm hearing you, Double J. Thank you, Doc. Same with Brady. Didn't do much, but turned into the GOAT. The combine is a joke and a way for the NFL to make money.
Do you really think Brady?
Combines don't mean jack-ish. I'm with you on that too.
They
Doc.
don't. They don't. Go look at how many people have increased their draft stock.
I'm not saying that.
They've done.
I'm not saying that.
There's a handful of people out there. Some of them who never could catch a ball, like you said.
Okay, but I think
they ran a 4.240.
I think it weighs more. It weighs more when I only got 2 guys to look at versus 200 million. Somebody's gonna fall through the cracks, Mr. Irrelevant. I'm just saying the combine is commercial. I'm telling you what the combine is versus the pro day, in my opinion. Okay, I get you. You're making a strong case for the combine. It's like the big chain grocery store meat department versus the butcher. Got him.
I disagree. How can you look? Go through. We should pull up on the screen. We should already have this. What consists in a pro day? It's not very long. It is not very labor intensive.
Yeah, because if I'm a scout worth my weight in gold, I don't need to see it much. Listen, let me tell you.
Remember, and they're operated by the schools. They're not operated by the scouts. The scouts are subjected to whatever, if you wanted to see him throw a 50-yard pass and they're only running short slants, unfortunately you don't have it.
What we do know is not highlights. That's what we do
now. And as great as this sounds, by removing it, you're going to have a lot of people, right? Remember, fan stands for fanatic.
But fandom can be lead you to a fault too, though. At times, fandom can lead to foolishness.
Well, because look, the Lions for years were notorious.
We're not doing that. Oh no. You're not allowed to say anything about the Lions at all. Not on this program. You didn't like Matt Stafford. You said there was. Oh please.
I didn't like Matt Stafford.
Oh please, don't make me pull the tape. That's unbelievable.
I called him Stat Padford.
I know what you called him. That's disrespectful, and you disrespected the Lions. We're not gonna have that. Doc, you got my back on this. You know how he do. You
guys are both Eagles fans anyway.
Absolutely
what difference
not.
Does it make?
I'm a Hurricane fan, even though the Hurricanes do feel like.
Did you see what they did? Did you see what they did at offense? Was it offensive coordinator?
I'm not worried. I'm not paying them no mind right now until the season starts. What a mess. Yes, it's a mess. Doc says again, yeah, you can increase your draft stock, but that don't mean you're going to be good in the NFL. Thank you. Combine is a look at what I can do with no pressure applied. All right, Doc, you taking over for D-Runk today, baby. Doc, keep them rolling, baby. But the pro day is too, technically, though, Doc. You know what I mean? One of them things. But I'm just saying, to me, the pro day is more fine-tuned. I really get to see the nuances in you. When you at the combine, man, we got 35 wide receiver prospects we got to go through for the day. That's why it's a 2,900,000-hour event. Man, it's too much, man. It's overkill. Doc said, better an Eagle fan than a Cowboy groupie. Hold it. Hold it, Doc. I mean, what we doing here? That's what we doing. I mean, hello? I'm trying to figure out. Hello? Unbelievable. Oh, yeah. We had to, yeah. Wait a minute. He got his Jerry Jones. Who got their Jerry Jones? Oh, that Doc. That's it. No more. No more. Hey, excuse me, bartender, cut his drinks cut to a minimum. That's it for him for the night. No, I'm trying to tell you, the pro day is more specific, whether it's controlled by the school or not. The school can say, hey, especially if they think that they got some, and don't get it twisted. You don't think for 1 minute if the school has a scout from the Steelers coming down to look at a prospect or prospects or whatever, you don't think they're going to lay out the red carpet? Here it is. The Steelers are coming, and we know that they win Super Bowls. Man, come on, man. They're going to be rolling out the red carpet, man. Stop it. He can do whatever you need him. Oh, okay. Shout out. Okay. Oh, okay. I just want a clarification, Doc. Okay, yeah. You was talking about that guy. Oh, that guy. Yeah, that guy right there. Got you. Yeah. I think the pro days are a little bit more personal. You can get more out of them. And again, what does that say about a scout? If I'm a scout, I'm going to do my due diligence and I'm going to go find that diamond in the rough. I'm not going to the combine waiting in line. I'm not waiting my turn.
So here's the thing. Just briefly, I'm going to pull up what's involved in a pro day. Okay.
Okay. Pull it on up.
But here's the thing. But first, something I definitely want to show everyone in relation
sure,
to,
so that everyone can see it, because you know sometimes I can't see it even with my glasses.
Is this here? This is Ann Arbor. So rivalries put aside.
Okay, right now we see Kit Kats in the background. What's going on there?
Oh, whoops. Here we go.
Oh, shout out for that. Shout out. Yeah, shout out.
So if you guys didn't know, those two will be playing basketball, which will be, of course, Michigan State's first game since this on Saturday in Ann Arbor.
So shout out for that. Yeah, for sure. And they need to get the Ohio State Buckeyes over there. That's what you need to do. Yeah, but look, man, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to tell you what. Oh, would you get ready to pull up something else?
Yep. Give me a moment. I'm getting it for you.
Yeah. I don't discredit the combine in its entirety, but I'm sure. How did they do it before the combine started? How did they evaluate talent?
Well, they really didn't. Well, but hang on, look at the product.
What do you mean?
Right?
Don't do that. Don't say they didn't, because it's a whole lot of HBCU players that I mean, most of your Hall of Famers now. Hold it now. Wait a minute. Don't do that. Don't you do it. Don't do it. Don't you do it.
They didn't. And the game was different.
Oh, now we giving the game being different a seat at the table. Man, cut me in and cut it out, man. And man,
I just want to point something out here live.
No,
a lot of people talked a lot of trash.
Hold it. Is that Duke? Are you watching Duke?
No, I'm watching Northwestern, and it might as well be Duke because they're coached by Chris Collins, son of former Pistons coach. Go ahead.
Who are the two
Doug
teams
Collins.
playing?
All right.
Okay, Doug Collins.
It is IU, the wannabes, the has-beens, and
don't do that. Indiana,
and Northwestern.
Indiana, one of the few teams to win the national championship.
And Northwestern has this year will be special. So yes, they did officially.
They beat Purdue.
That's right. They sure did.
Okay.
And now they are
saw that game.
They are housing IU right now, 35-17.
Oh, wait a minute. Did IU beat Purdue?
Yeah, by 3.
I don't care. That's not good. That's not a good place. That's not a good sign for Purdue if IU and then now Northwestern.
If you watch that game, then you've seen the hook and holds on Edie.
Oh, stop it. Oh, now we're going to talk.
Complicit as that.
Okay, now we're going to go back to the Eagles special teams, huh? That's what we're doing here? Okay, yeah, all right, yeah.
So all I know is that fan base specifically talked a whole lot of nonsense when we lost on Sunday. And here they are.
Well, they're supposed to
getting shellacked.
Okay, listen. It's the Big Ten. This
team
is around the corner.
Hang on a second. I said Chris Collins. Stop. Chris Collins should have been. I'm on Big Ten Network Radio. I said it to Robbie Hummel, another Purdue guy, that Chris Collins, if Purdue wasn't having this kind of a year with Matt Painter, who's a shoo-in, for coach of the year in the conference, that Chris Collins really should be the coach of the year.
Chris Collins, and who's Chris Collins coaching again?
Northwestern. Because he lost Ryan Young to Duke, and he lost Pete Nance. Sound familiar? Nance?
Yeah.
To North Carolina. Okay. This team technically went backwards in terms of depth and talent in their front court. And yet here they are with a guy. He lives in Spanish folklore. There's what's known as a cucuy, and he gives you nightmares. Well, his name is Boo Booey in real life, but he is now
okay.
Yeah,
Nice little play on words. Yeah,
absolutely. And his friends, Chase Audige. So a lot of people gave me a lot of issues with my toughness on the freshman of what happened on Sunday, but I wasn't mad at Fletcher Lawyer one bit, because Chase Audige is one of the best on-ball defenders that I've ever seen. And he's arguably, at the very least, putting it mildly, top 3 in the Big Ten, and certainly top 5 in the country.
So what you're saying is that Collins was able to put together a Northwestern squad after losing 2 significant pieces without the use of a combine. Amazing. That's what he did. See, you don't need a combine.
So Rachel Nichols, Mike Greenberg, Wilbon. Who else? Juliette Lewis from Seinfeld. Bring the whole gang together.
Julia Louise Dreyfus, is that?
Yeah, that's who it is.
Okay, yeah, got you. Yeah.
Elaine, order a big salad, Elaine, because they're going to be going to the big dance, and they have the possibility to make some serious noise, and they will go as far as Boo Booey takes them.
Well, I'm familiar with Northwestern. I do watch a little bit of Big Ten basketball. Ohio State, unfortunately. I'll tell you, but we're going to do that in the next coming weeks here or so. Maybe even next Wednesday, God willing, we all get to see it and everything. We're going to do our little March Madness little preview as well. Go through. Oh man, would you stop it? Unbelievable.
It's everybody. He just right off they're doing elbow shots. It's fundamentals.
Okay, but let me tell you,
how can you know?
It's not if it's not at the foul line. I'm a foul line down kind of guy. That's it. Foul line with an occasional 3. For me, the 3 is like putting cinnamon.
The 3?
The 3 is like putting cinnamon in your mixture of French toast. Okay? It's not the main ingredients, baby. You need yolks, baby. Okay?
That's right.
Put a little vanilla.
Said he's hitting from the elbow.
That's what I said. Foul line down. That's what they used to call me.
Yeah.
Foul line down.
Oh,
Jay,
now they were
baby.
calling you that.
That's what they called me at Intramurals, baby, Ohio University. You better check my record.
Oh, so he was at a combine. Now.
Okay.
All
I wasn't at a combine. I don't know what you're talking about right there. Anyway, yeah. Lastly, once again, I got a feeling that DeMar Smith might actually, but this is the players. Once it fall back in the lap of the players once again. When is the next negotiation? NFL, I don't know. What do they call it? Contract?
3 more years.
Huh?
3 more years. Remember, they signed it right before they signed that TV deal. Like the TV
that's
deal was
right.
done a
They
week
sure
later.
did before they.
Yeah, isn't that nice? Yeah, they got home.
Okay, so this right here, then, what DeMar is discussing or laying out here, it's just what, fairy tale? It couldn't happen anyway. Until the next the CBA, collective bargaining agreement, comes back around?
I can't say that for sure because it's not a part of the season. So the league can't necessarily say that like this is a mandatory thing, right? Because technically it's optional. Every player could say no. They remember they invite them. If everybody says no.
And again, you know what? Okay.
So that really puts it. This is the funniest part, right? Is that technically the league can say, well, what are you talking about, Mr. Smith? Because this isn't mandatory. We don't force any of these guys to come here. Heck, they're not even on an NFL roster. They're acting on their own free will.
After having been indoctrinated and conditioned, and after being indoctrinated and conditioned to do so, because from my understanding, it's the players' agents who are suggesting that they do this. Now, you mean to tell me that the agents are not in collusion or, some whatever with the NFL and such whatnot?
Well, it's all about relationships at the end of the day, isn't it?
Well, okay, that's fair. But let me ask you then, for a guy like Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes. Does anybody remember what he did at the combine? No. Do you think what his skill set and what he brings to the table, you think that a combine could measure that? No. At what point during a combine, in his combine
How
in particular,
so?
did they measure the underhand shovel pass instinctively on the run while he's being dragged down by 14 tacklers? And there's only 11 players on the field, by the way, being dragged down by 14 tacklers, and his ankle is twisted in 7 different ways up underneath his body.
Okay, so I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this to you.
Okay.
The main purpose of the NFL Combine is to get the medicals done on 335 players. The workouts are a bonus. That said, we get to see most
they don't have primary care
prospects work out under the same conditions at the same venue at the same time. It makes comparing one to the other relatively easy. Now, with the combine over, you'll go into a 5 or 6 week pro day period and a private workout. These workouts give the decision makers more information to make a final grade on each prospect.
Whoa, stop right there. Stop right there. So these private workouts and these pro days give the what? More. So then again, in essence, what they're saying is how much do you actually learn about the player at the combine when you're going to the secondary stuff, the private and the pro day to learn more. Continue.
Okay, so but the pro day, both the pro day and the private workout can carry much significance, but which one is better? That really depends on what you're looking for from the player. So small school pro days on just about every weekday through the first week of April.
When you say small school, you mean like your Mount Unions?
Correct.
The Kent States, the Akrons and such?
Yep. There's at least one pro day somewhere in the country, depending on the school. It can be a relatively short one or one that takes 6 to 7 hours to complete. The NFL allows prospects from the small schools, FCF's lower level and lower, to work out at the FBS schools on the FBS schools pro day. That can mean an extra 30 to 35 kids at a workout.
Okay, so hold on, stop right there. So in other words, you're saying, let's say somebody scouts are going to visit a kid.
Yeah, so you're not going to Grand Valley State. You're not going to Indiana State. You're going to Purdue.
Okay,
and the Indiana State kids and Butler.
Anybody in those proximities can come. Yeah, okay, got you. Go ahead, continue. Got you.
And it takes a long time to weigh, measure, and time these kids in a combine-style workout. The big schools usually let these kids work out either before or after their kids, but almost never during. The advantage this has for the small schools.
Well, is that fair? Well, I guess so.
Well, I mean, it's
because if you let everybody go they want, it's the combine, basically. Go ahead. Got you.
Yeah. The advantage for the small schools is that there's usually a large contingency of scouts and coaches. This means more exposure. And the result has turned into an opportunity for those kids at that level to take advantage of it. If the small school, kids had their own day, chances are only a few scouts would even show up. So to your point about Grambling, I don't consider Grambling small in a football capacity. But in theory, this could be the difference of people going there or not, or the number of people there. I remember when Purdue was horrible, about a decade ago. And it was
Purdue football.
Yeah. And there was no way of hiding in the videos that there was so little volume of people there.
Wow. That's really bad.
And so, and again, that's at a Big Ten level. And I know they certainly aren't alone in that, but at the time. Now, of course, these days that's not the case, but so I've actually been able to witness it with my own eyes, what it actually looks like. And of course, we've all, seen what the combine actually looks like. So let's see here. Then pro days for big schools, with only 335 prospects to go to the combine. Each of the big schools has plenty of players who have not worked out for scouts. That's their opportunity to shine. And there's usually 35 kids who are not combine invitees who get drafted. And so, scouts and coaches not only want to see the non-combine kids, they want to be able to see the top prospects in a friendly location because the combine's very hectic.
Yeah, of course. Exactly.
And so
in all that chaos, how can there's just too much chaos.
So here's what comes with it. Each player goes through an extensive medical exam, takes an aptitude and psychological test, as well as an interview and workout. At the combine,
Did they not do that already they're in college? If they're a sophomore, junior, maybe didn't they not take some sort of aptitude test? If I'm a scout, I'm just going to pull out the ones he already took already. Okay. How much more?
Well, that
Okay,
has to
ahead.
be approved and given to, but
okay.
Each club only has 15 minutes in which to interview a player. So at a pro day, there's no such rules, and a coach can become comfortable with a player. So if a player is important, a club might send in a position coach the day before the pro day to interview and do board work. And these sessions may last a few hours, and it gives, of course, you a better opportunity to learn more about the person.
There's your butcher versus your big chain grocery meat market. Go ahead.
Now, on numerous occasions over the years, there's been examples of people who came back and said how much they wanted a particular person. And then, of course, the opposite has taken place. And so, but that information itself is invaluable. Just as much as the combine workout is, so is the pro day. Because the player generally starts out doing the measurable drills that are done at the combine. I've seen this myself. I want to say Rondale Moore did
they do the same thing.
Rondale Moore's vertical was ridiculous that he did at Purdue. And on Purdue's pro day, I remember that. So weight and measuring each prospect, as well as a 40-yard dash, 20-yard shuffle, 3-cone vertical jump, and long jump. So I just kind of spoke to the vertical.
Yeah, I think it's the NFL's another thing the NFL can slap their label on and make money off of it, to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. I'd really like to know what the numbers are, what a scout, I might even try to get in touch with a scout just to find out how much more do you learn about a potential prospect at the combine. You know who I'm gonna ask? I'm gonna ask our buddy. How much more do you learn about a potential prospect at the combine versus a pro day or private workout? Matter of fact.
Well, are there rules to this? See, and this is something we don't know. So at pro days, coaches generally have more time to work with the player and usually put them through position-specific drills that the prospect hasn't done before. Coaches are always looking for little things in the drills to indicate that the player has the tools to play at the next level, and also gets to see how the player takes coaching and follows instruction. That's all part of the total evaluation process. The little things are important in putting together a profile on a prospect. Private workouts, the best situation, of course, is having that one-on-one time. And when they do such a thing, there's, of course, naturally no competition from, with other coaches or clubs, having quality time with the said prospect, and they can spend as much time together as they'd like. They'll often meet with the player in one of the school's position meeting rooms, and then the coach gets to put the player on the board. It's a time where the coach finds out of the player's true mental aptitude for playing the game. So this is where, think of John Gruden's, Spider 2 Y Banana, right? Like his quarterback coaching program that he had with prospects. This is very much where this takes place. He'll draw up a few plays, instruct them how the play is supposed to be ran, and then after a few minutes of absorbing it, the player has to repeat it.
So wait. You're not doing that at the combine?
Well, in theory, no. They're only doing rollouts and but they are. Here's the thing: it's different, right? So the quarterback is being told one thing, right? Because quarterbacks with the quarterback's coach, the receivers are with the receivers coaches, so they're telling them what to do. So in theory, it kind of is, but again, this is with a select number of participants. And then again, think about how many potential prospects there are, and how many
you mean per position,
right? Imagine having to do this private workout for all 32 teams, because you really don't know. Now, again, we get it, right? That like someone, it may not be all 32, but it could if you eliminate the combine.
All 32 teams always do they always all go all the time?
To the combine, of course.
Oh, well, yeah.
So in the case of a quarterback, the coach may ask them again to draw those and then tell them the total philosophy of the play. The intuitive player can usually tell what 11 players are doing at the same time. And it's, great stuff to witness and tells you a lot about the kid. Once the classroom session is over, it's time for the field work. Because it's a private session, there is no time limits like pro days. And on-field workout can last well over an hour. Usually no measurable drills are done, only position specific.
Wait. This is private?
Yes. So within the private one, they're actually and the receivers themselves would be doing, or just in general, it's position specific. So you're not going to run a 40-yard dash. Right. You're going to actually be doing, receiver
curls.
Yeah,
curls, slants, go routes, post, corner, things of that nature.
So Lovie Smith told me that Devin Hester may have been one of the best athletes he had ever worked out. When he went to that draft with the thought that they weren't going to get Hester, they couldn't get him in the first round because he didn't justify it. His play didn't justify it. And so what they did is
his play coming from where? Miami?
Yeah.
Oh man, stop it.
That wasn't worthy of a first round pick, dude.
Yeah,
because he couldn't have been a receiver.
He could have been whatever he wanted to be.
Now, I was around Devin. Remember, hang on a second. I was around Devin.
You was around Uncle Luke, too, on 99th and St. Clair. Okay, I got you. Your world traveled. But we're not going to do this about my Canes, baby. Yeah, I come to the what? Except for The Rock. Okay? He's off limits.
And now Devin is an interesting person because he is that classic Miami person, right? Like,
what do you mean?
He had the donk, right? The Chevy, a Caprice. That on the 28th,
Andre Johnson didn't have
wagon
all of that.
Wheels.
Andre Johnson didn't have all of that. Andre Johnson and Jonathan Vilma.
Yeah, but is Andre Johnson? Is he really from Miami though?
Yeah,
is he really from Dade County?
Serious? Man, come on, man, the Coral Gables, baby. I have no idea. I'm just saying. I was on a roll right quick. Yeah, okay, got you. All right. But again, the pro day. Go ahead, finish.
Just ultimately. As you see, that it's all part of a much more in-depth process. Now, from the sounds of it,
hey, listen, don't ask me to do something. Okay, you're right. All right, it's part of an in-depth process. All right, I'll give you that. I'll let you have in-depth and I'll let you have process. But what I won't let you have is what I'm about to tell you right now. That's like, how many sports shows are on? How many different titled sports shows are there on television with the same doggone talent from the first show to the 12th show? Oh, please. An in-depth process. And you got guys doing it all three stages of this thing, the same thing they did in the first one. Man, please, man. Hey, listen, it's like a basketball player going out there to work on the shot. I get it. You've heard professional basketball players say all day, every day, man, I used to get up 1,000 shots a day, 2,000 shots. You really, that's too big a number. If you really want to get your jumper together, do increments of 10. Okay. If you really want to know what a prospect might look like at the NFL next level, man, give him a pro day and a private and all that, cut all that other extra stuff out, man. The NFL combine. That's why it's called combine. Look here. It's what they say about 72 birds with one stone. No, absolutely not. No, you're going to give me my individuality, attention. Okay. That's what you're going to do. You're going to give me my individual attention and my draft stock going to be where it need to be. Because listen, if I'm a scout, once again, let me tell y'all, I'm looking at the man's tape. All right. The combine can't really tell me no more, no less than what the tape done said, especially if the player is a junior or maybe even a senior. Do they even have seniors in football anymore? I guess. I don't know. And what? Can you, Double J, hello, knock, knock. Are you still there?
Oh, I'm just listening to the nonsense.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking. Yeah. A college player can be eligible for the NFL draft in what year of his collegiate career? Well, sophomore?
That changed thanks to guys like Maurice Clarett and remember him?
Yeah,
Youngstown.
Oh, kid. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
And so, still technically after your junior year is when you see most most go.
Okay, so 3 years of tape. If I'm a scout, 3 years of tape, pro day, private workout. Yeah, definitely. That's all I need to see whether or not if you're going to be the number 5th pick in the draft.
But what happens, right? You go through coaching. Now, I'm going to give you some examples that didn't exist in the past. Transitions.
What do you mean?
From both offensive or defensive philosophy by way of coaching changes, and or amount of time that the player may have changed position, the player may have certainly improved, right?
Are you talking Tannehill?
No. I'm saying well, okay, sure, that's one example, but there are countless others, and we're in a world now where it's a transfer portal, right? Kenneth Walker for the Seahawks, as an example, was unheard of, and then goes to Michigan State and has a phenomenal year.
You mean the same Kenneth Walker that was with the Browns?
No. This guy's at the Seahawks now.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Should have been one of the Heisman finalists, was not. And again, would have otherwise, had this not happened, had he not transferred and gotten a different opportunity, he would have had every bit of what you just said and would have largely went completely under the radar and potentially undrafted.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do give it that undrafted players got a bigger hill to climb.
But now you're talking about, this is where it gets vastly more difficult, because there's only so many positions from a practice squad vantage point.
Like I said, if I'm the scout, give me the guy who got good hands and good football speed. Give me a route runner than a guy who runs fast. Yeah.
Are you sure? But he's going to get blanketed.
Hey, listen.
He's going to get blanketed.
Hey, listen. Cooper Kupp is not fast. Doc weighing in again. KW3 was the truth. He did wonders for my fantasy squad this year. Who was KW3? Did I just miss him?
Yeah, Kenneth
Walker. My bad. Yeah, duh. DSJ gave himself the button on that one. Duh. Give me the guy who runs his routes correctly over a guy who runs fast. I mean, because what? Peter Warrick was fast. How long did that last? You know what? I'm not going to even say nothing else about it. We got another comment rolling in here, y'all. Then we're going to keep things rolling right along. Hold on. He said, yeah, Hester was a fast receiver that couldn't catch a lick, but he was a great return man. Doc, whose side are you on? You know what, man?
Oh, hell no.
I need to know who side you on right now. Oh, I get it. You and WJ, y'all must have a function going on with the children's. So you're trying to stay on the right side of it. Yeah, I know how y'all get down, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
I told you. Hang on a second. I tried to tell you that. And so what would have happened? You're suggesting because he went to the U that, he was worth a first-round pick. Now.
Okay, so he went second round. But I tell you what, after his career was said and done, could he? Now let's revisit that draft. You mean to tell me he couldn't win in the first round?
Well, he was, again, we're still talking about a punt returner.
And ask the Raiders. Hey, let me tell you something. A lot of people say, I'm going to get to your comment here in a second. A lot of people say what a lot of people shouldn't say, but they have said about Al Davis, may he rest, and the Raiders, the black hole and all that other good stuff. Him and the NFL had problems. I mean, that's neither here nor there. But Al Davis was known for picking fantastic talent. Oh, and you don't think he picked Ray Guy, the punter for the Raiders? Go look where he picked Ray Guy at. And look where Ray Guy is at. Man, stop it. Okay? Yeah. Hey, if you're a great teacher, I'll draft you a linebacker and turn you into I don't know, tight end. I don't know. I'm just saying. Antonio Gates, I'm just saying. Look like a linebacker.
Because here's the thing. I'm going to point out Ancient Aliens. If we would have went off what was on tape, Giorgio Supalo.
Oh, here we go now.
Giorgio Supalo.
I'm not TJ. Would have been you and TJ conspiracies. Go ahead. Yeah, what are you saying here?
Based on paper, his resume would not have suggested that he was this ancient astronaut theorist.
Hold on. Whoa. You hold on. If we're still talking about Hester, all I said was after he was done, let's go back and revisit the draft as people do all the time. If we want to redraft that, do this player ... go first as opposed to going.
And now wait a minute. Look at it. Look at our normal lives here, right? You could have went to school for this, and now you're doing that. And if you were solely judged what was on paper and not your true abilities that you were able to display, you wouldn't be capable of doing said thing. You'd be getting judged incorrectly. And isn't that what this is all about?
So you're saying Hester is being judged incorrectly?
No. He should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's not. He wasn't voted in, but he really should be.
Okay, but if you revisited that draft,
he will be in Canton ultimately. But
okay,
it's not right now.
So in other words, what you're telling me, after the fact, a future Hall of Famer, if we redo that draft, would not be taken in the first round. A Hall of Famer.
I'm sure there was somebody else that didn't do quite as well. That we would say
somebody else that didn't do homework. Otherwise, he would have went in the first round.
So wait a minute. Is that what we're blaming now? Or
no, I'm not blaming anything.
Is this giving teams an out?
I'm pointing that out.
If we take this away, does this give teams an excuse now to say, well, wait a minute, I didn't have a combine?
Okay, well, they're going to always have an excuse. The NFL is, please, trust me. Look at the refs. Those, I mean, all black and white zebras excuses. Excuses every week. There's no excuse for you. Doc weighing in again. He said, I'm agreeing with you. You as in BS. Oh, shout out to you, Doc. Shout out. Yeah, I'll take hands and footwork over speed. I'm trying to tell you. And I don't mean, listen, I don't want the guy to run a 5.55 in the 40. Okay, I'm not saying that. All right. But again, we've seen a lot of guys. Matter of fact, the Rams once upon a time had a guy. No, Ron Brown was an Olympic sprinter. And you know what? That's an interesting thing too. Is there a difference between a guy lining up to run the 40, just a college athlete, versus an Olympic? I'm not an Olympic, but a track athlete or track and field person?
Say that again.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I thought I could
go with that.
I'm just let me.
So again, the guy has track speed. Usain Bolt, right? He actually tried. He was in FIFA, I believe, at one point. He had a tryout.
Well, he didn't have no business playing soccer though. He didn't.
What do you mean? Speed's part of the game. Have him sitting at midfield and play the ball over the top. And who's gonna beat the fastest man in the world in a 30-yard dash?
Okay, but if his footwork is not,
come on, he's just got to be able to have a pair of feet.
No, you don't.
As long as he's not Oscar Pistorius, then
please.
he would be able to bury one.
No, no. Ask Fred Astaire. I've seen Fred Astaire give parents their money back. Okay. Your kid just doesn't have it, ma'am. All right. Maybe take him to badminton. I don't know. No offense. I'm just kidding. Just saying. Yeah. Anyway.
So now wait a minute. So Doc's agreeing now?
Of course.
So hang on. So all right. So we're all on the same page.
What else should he do?
That footwork over speed.
Not What?
Did you not again? I thought you showed that comment.
Oh, I did. Yeah. He said footwork and hands. Okay,
and hands. So wait a minute. Now it's both. So now we're adding you. No. You got to pick one.
No, I don't pick one. What are you talking about? You don't make the rules here. What are you doing?
Well, wait a minute. You're the scout. You said, let me be the scout. So you're the scout. I'm only showing you one of these. I'm very inconsistent on the others, and I haven't had a private workout with you. So you don't really know, do I have it all or do I not? And
so I only get to see one element, but it depends on. I'm a scout. What position am I there scouting? Am I scouting wide receiver?
Hang on. Well, based on those things, what should we be talking about? Because technically it could be applicable to all, but kicker.
Okay. Well, you're not the old lineman. I mean, I don't see how.
They're still using the hands.
Okay, but they're not
defensive linemen.
Okay, but
technique or
yeah, but the 40-yard dash is not going to tell me whether the offensive lineman, he could pass block.
If he's got blazing speed, he's got to get down the field. What if we throw a screen
pass?
What are you
talking about?
Listen, Quasimodo fell down.
Listen, did you see the Eagles? Who was the formations? Was it the Eagles formation?
Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce went and leveled someone in that game.
Okay, but that's strength.
No, it was the speed to even get there.
Oh, stop. I didn't say speed was
look
irrelevant.
At Tony Saragusa as an example. Phenomenal athlete, right?
Yes, phenomenal. Yes, I don't know what are you saying here. So was Gerard Warren.
But the defensive line, no different than the offensive line, has to be able to get to the second level.
When it's 4th and 1 in the Super Bowl and you need a yard, are you worried about how fast somebody is? Do you think I just mentioned Patrick Mahomes?
But it depends on the position.
Okay, so if I'm a scout, let's go back to this. If I'm a scout and I'm looking for a wide receiver and you give me one thing, you said I get one thing? One thing.
Yeah, what was it? The Anne Marie was the song. This one thing.
Okay, all right, one thing. That's fine. Hands. Because your speed, even in your foot, whatever your feet do, if your hands can't, your feet will get you there. But if your hands can't seal the deal, what do I need you for?
No, a lot of receivers that have good hands, but they just can't run a route worth a lick.
I'll take Chris Carter over a whole lot of guys who were fast.
Do you think Chris Carter in today's NFL? Who's Chris Carter in today's NFL?
Man, Chris Carter, some of his sideline catches. Are you serious? Man, Chris
Carter caught a pass off not the Empire State Building. Wherever they did that, they threw that pass in New York City.
Oh, excuse me, fellas, I'm bouncing around here. I don't even recall that.
He was known for his hands, never his blazing speed his footwork.
And he got him to the NFL, and he was remembered for one of the
I feel like Chris Carter would have been a tight end today.
Oh, stop it. Pete Metzelaars. That's what that sounds like. You know, that's what that sounds like. This guy right here is a fan of Scott Zolak, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Zolak had one of the strongest arms I've ever seen in a quarterback prospect or whatever. He played for the Patriots. And he could throw the ball 100 yards, it seemed like it anyway. And he kept hitting the lady in the first row, I'm telling you.
But look at what they said about
That's why they put up field goal nets now.
His hands.
What?
You know, they're measuring everything, the hand size.
Oh, you know, that's overkill, man. Is what I'm telling you. Give me a pro day. Give me the butcher. Give me the butcher over the big chain grocery store meat department.
That's always the case.
Yeah, I'm just saying, big chain grocery store meat
department.
How can you
determine?
How can I determine what? Whether I want if I'm a scout and I'm there to scout a wide receiver? I want to see your hands.
But in a pro day, I'm sharing time with 30 other guys.
Okay. I want to see your hands.
I have 5 passes. What if I have a bad day?
Okay, listen.
Oh, now you get fired because you made a mistake and didn't draft me.
No.
Because I had a bad day because my girlfriend broke up with me, the night before.
Yeah.
And
and then I got Jerry Rice. Yeah. What? Yeah. I got an answer for everything, man. What are you talking about? I got examples.
I'm just not. I don't know. It is a spectacle. They do need to do more. I've always felt like the players should be compensated in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, well, well, then compensation. No, but compensation leads to taxation. No, thank you. You can keep your combine. Anyway, let's move things right along. Our last item on the menu for the dog. But what happened? Yeah, okay, gotcha. The Olympics. I got one question. You know what I'm saying here? The Olympics should be coming around in the next 25,000 years. But I'm just curious. I saw something on where was I at? Web news, sports news, or somewhere I was at, and I saw a little something. Just idea popped into my head here. The Olympics. I just got a question. Are the games, and when I say the games, quote unquote, are the games still relevant to you? And if they are, what is your favorite event?
Which Olympics?
Summer. I like the winter too.
I would say. Well, that's why I was asking. I would say, yeah, they are. This past one was a bad look, and just generally speaking, see that we had the dog doing Olympics.
I see. Yeah, I don't know whose biscuits those were, but okay.
So to answer the question, absolutely. Track and field. These are folks that typically, again, depending on where they are from a country standpoint, this is where they make their money, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So just that alone is wonderful. I know in certain countries they buy you a house. If
Yep, I heard of that.
And
heard of that before too.
And in other cases, that naturally you get sponsorships and all that type of thing too. So just being able to again see elite talent on display and know where they stand at the global level, and being able to be recognized for that, I of course I would still say it's as applicable as ever. I think the unfortunate part is the desire to be great has led not just certain individual athletes, but also entire countries to try to break and bend rules, which has really kind of stained it. But when it comes down to it, the games themselves, doesn't matter if it's the long jump or 100 meters. It is all very exciting and entertaining, and gives somebody an opportunity to represent themselves and their country, and leave a lasting legacy at the global level, which is always very cool.
I know one thing: I would not want to be the guy standing on the far end waiting to see where the javelin gonna land. That's
always the one for me
that's too risky. I'm sorry. No, y'all got to sign up Ronald McDonald or somebody. Absolutely. Snuff him up.
Because we were just talking about punts with Devin Hester, right?
Yeah, no, thank you.
And you're over there looking up.
I'm looking up. No, absolutely not. I'm more summer. I do like the winter, especially the skiing and the half pipe, the snowboarding and all of that stuff is pretty cool. I'm an X Games kind of person too, to a certain extent.
Really?
But summer is mine. And the cycling, believe it or not. Because
Tour de France type of thing?
Yeah, the Tour de France type of deal, yeah. But you know what's interesting? That is the only time where, like in basketball, for instance, where you can say we are world champions, and it actually literally means you're world champions.
One of the few.
You can't win a Super Bowl and call yourself a world champion. You played the New England Patriots. Okay, so how can you be a world champion when you're from Carolina and the other team is from New England? Oh, unbelievable! You're not a world champion. How can you be a world champion and one team is from Los Angeles and the other team is from Denver?
We call it American arrogance, right?
Okay, whatever the case may be, you're not a world champion. I wish you cut that out in the Olympics, though. You are when you win in basketball. You're a world champion.
Why is that? Are you sure in today's day and age that we'll say who would
don't
be
say it because you got different nationalities on the roster that makes you a world champion? No, just because Manu Ginobili was on the Spurs when they won a title does not make the Spurs world champions because they had Ginobili who's from Italy or whatever, France. I don't know. No,
Argentina.
Absolutely not. Oh, don't cry for me, Argentina. Don't. I'm just saying, don't cry.
But look at Cool Runnings, right? They would have never had an opportunity. Those guys all thought the only way in was through sprinting.
Okay. And they got in through bobsledding.
That's right.
I mean, come on now.
Are you ready to? Well, we would have a little bit of more challenging time trying to get in, but
no, thank you. Absolutely not. Don't sign me up for that. No, got you. No. Then next thing you know, if we hit one of them corners too fast on the bobsled or whatever, then my depends come on loose. And it's a bad scene. I'm just saying.
And I'm gonna wish I wore a pair.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're probably gonna be, right. Yeah, it's
make
coming
sure
downwind.
Are that dark
downwind
blue.
Is what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah.
No white pants on.
Absolutely not.
On the bobsled team.
On a snowsuit either. Absolutely not. Navy blue, solid colors, baby, or brown. Okay, because that's what's going down. Too much information. Mine's again is cycling. Yeah, I just am amazed at how you can have hundreds and hundreds of riders. I don't even think the bikes that they ride have brakes. Okay, I mean,
based on I'm one of those cynical people that when that takes place, and I know how I almost slipped with that. How upset I would be if I were one of the people that fell. By getting caught up in that.
Yeah.
But I lose it. I don't know why. It's just it's a flaw that I have. I didn't choose to be this way.
Unbelievable.
But when those guys, when there's about a 30 bike pile up, you'll find me on the ground as well.
Oh, unbelievable. That's Paige and Mrs. Alva My gosh.
I know. I'm getting a side eye right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And you should. Yeah, you should. You should get couch detail too. I'm just saying. That was couch worthy right there. But anywho, yeah, cycling is one of my favorites, man. And I'm with you. Those bikes are so light and so thin.
Mm-hmm.
And the terrain that they have to go through in the stages and all that. I'm like, my gosh, man.
I know, my knee is hurting just thinking about it.
No, we're not talking about you riding a green machine. That count, man. All right. Yeah, anywho. Yeah, so that's it for today, y'all. I'm getting out of here, man. I gotta go to work in the morning.
We got the Daytona 500 this weekend.
Okay.
Are you kidding?
As long as it's not the Clash at the Coliseum, I'm fine.
Yeah. No, the real Daytona, the racing season officially kicks off now. The wait is over.
Okay. Shout out for that. My bad for the slippage. Shout out for the Daytona 500. It will be recorded for me. Okay. All right. And on that note, I leave you without a quote for today. It's been fun, but we got to run. Don't forget to check us out every Wednesday at 9 on the PM side right here on the yard, baby. Or y'all can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the shop's fan page on Facebook, and of course, YouTube. And make sure when you're on YouTube, please, if you would, hit that subscribe button. You know, the little bell, ting-a-ling-a-ling. We'd be much obliged. And if that don't work, Google it. For my man's Be Rich, Double J, Doc, TJ, D Gully, and all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop J. What else am I supposed to say? You've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, next time y'all want to know what's going on at the shop, what am I saying here?
Walk-ins are always welcome.
I know it. I thought you would catch that anyway. Yeah. Okay. Next time y'all want to know what's really going on at the shop, holla at your boy. No, that's not good either. I'm just messing with you. But walk-ins always welcome. Holla.